all about trying to save time and all about trying to streamline tasks. And so today, what I wanted to do is I wanted to share some of my favorite ways to use AI in our music businesses in order to do those things. So I'm going to share some of the strategies that I've used over the past year. They've helped me save a ton of time on things like admin tasks and also teaching tasks as well. And they've also made some of the tasks that I used to kind of dread a lot more fun. So, whether you are brand new to using AI or if you've already dipped your toes in and you're looking for some new ways to streamline your tasks, you're in for a treat. So, before we get to all of the goods today, I'm going to play a little intro music. Please let me know where you're tuning in from today, and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm really excited to share these things here today. We've got some really cool things, and they're not all ChatGPT. So initially, when I was planning this broadcast, I thought I'll talk about the ways that I use ChatGPT to save time in my studio, but I'm actually going to be sharing some other tools today as well. So the topic is dun dun dun, fave ways to save time with AI. And I would love to know from you all, whether you're watching live or on the replay, are you using AI in your business, in your personal life? If you are, let us know what some of your favorite tools are. If you aren't yet, and maybe you're feeling like a little on the fence about using it, that's okay too, because we're going to unpack that stuff here today. Okay, so please feel free to jump into the conversation. I have set up the Savvy Sara bot. She is ready to go. So I do have links set up for you to the resources that we are going to be talking about today. So if you drop the word AI, if you're on Instagram or on Facebook, if you drop the word AI down below, the Savvy Sara bot will reach out to you. If you are watching on YouTube, you can also get a hold of the links if you look inside of the description. Here's the links for today. I'll put that in there for you as well. Whoops, wrong link. Let's grab the right one. If you happen to be watching, just so you know, if you happen to be watching this on my Facebook personal profile, the bot will not work there, but I did put the link into the chat. Okay, so let's see. Before we jump in, hey, if you're new here, hi, my name is Sara Campbell. I am a business strategist, marketing, and mindset coach for music studio owners and independent music teachers like you. And we go live here on Wednesdays where we talk about all of those topics about business and marketing and mindset and all of the good stuff. Welcome. If you're new, I'm so glad that you're here. I will just mention yesterday I did a little tiny pop-up live to discuss some of the scam messages that are being sent to Facebook business pages now. So if you're looking for a tutorial to help you deal with the amount of spam messages that are coming in, or if you're not even sure what that is, if you go to the Savvy Music Studio page, you can check out that tutorial there. If anybody needs to grab a hold of the link, just let me know. Thanks to those of you who have been sharing that video. I think it's really important to get the word out since it seems like those scam messages are rampant. That's all I'm going to say about that now. Go check out the video if you need to. Okay, great. I see a bunch of people tuning in here. So Laura's tuning in. Hey there, Anna. Stephanie's tuning in from Rock Hall, Maryland. Karen hasn't used AI yet. That's okay. Stephanie says she's using it in course creation. That's awesome. Laura says, I've used it for studio emails. It's a little addictive. Yes. You know what? I used AI to write my Christmas card this year. No joke, y'all. It was awesome. Hey there. Good morning, Heather. And hey there. Motif Music Studios tuning in on the YouTubes. Okay, let's get rolling, shall we? Oops, I need to take. Dorla says I'm using AI. It's my friendly personal assistant, and Heather says I'm using it for course creation is kind of intriguing. Awesome. Also, lots of practical ways to use it. You use it for video titles sometimes. Me too. Oh, Marie Lee, so nice to see you. Look at all these familiar faces coming up. Awesome. Okay, so let's talk about it. Again, just drop the word AI down below if you want to get the resources from today. I just want to preface, talking about AI a little bit. So I understand that there are kind of two camps when it comes to AI. There are people who are like, yes, let's dive in and do all the things. And there are people who are like, I am not sure about allowing a robot into my business. And can I just be honest with you? I was in that second camp when all of the hubbub started, swirling about using AI about a year and a half ago. And I think I was starting to hear a lot more of it before it kind of hit the music scene, since I follow a lot of coaches and social media marketing people. And I was very skeptical about it when it was released publicly and it was still in its infancy. So if there's anyone here who feels like a little weird about AI, I can say there are tips that you can use and things to keep in mind that will, one, keep you safe and keep your data safe. And two, also, I think one of the things that was holding me back from using AI initially is feeling as though if I used this tool, that I was admitting that I wasn't creative enough or smart enough or all of these things. I wasn't enough. And that it felt like I was giving up part of what makes me unique as a human, as a teacher, as a business owner, etc. I got over myself. And I actually am having a lot of fun with it now. So if there's anyone else here who felt reluctance around, doing that, let us know. And maybe if you were in the opposite camp and you just like dove straight in, I'd love to know if that was you too. So what we're going to do here is we are going to go through 3 ways that I like to use AI, and I'm going to show you 2 of my favorite tools. I use a lot of different AI tools, so if there's more interest in this topic, this is something that I would be happy to go over in future broadcasts and maybe even some workshops as well. I love what Stephanie says, smart enough to use the tool over here. Cheers. Laura says, at first I felt like it was cheating. Laura, that's a really good way to put that. That's kind of how I felt too. Like I'm cheating if I do this. Like it's making it easy. Stephanie agrees with that as well. Hey, those who are watching over on Instagram, if you drop the word AI down below, we'll get you set up with all of the good stuff. Let's do this. So let's go through the 3 ways that I love to use this. And remember, if you are using AI a lot in your business and you have favorite tools that you want to share here, let us know what they are. If you're live here with me, I can bring that comment up onto the screen and we could talk about it. Dorla says, ha, you got over yourself. Once I learned to use the prompts correctly, I was in love. Exactly. Yeah. When I first started using it, it felt super awkward. Okay. So here's one of the first ways that I love to use this. I am obsessed with making checklists and making data easy for people to absorb. So let me define what I mean by that. So let's say that you are sending out information to your studio about upcoming events or calendar reminders, things about breaks, etc., and stuff like that, because that's something that we have to do. Nobody's going to remember the entire calendar for the year and all of the policies if we just send them out once. So I love to use ChatGPT to summarize things. One of the ways that I do this is, my favorite example is if you were to take the policies that you have, like maybe you do some policy changes every year, maybe, or just some updates, and you want to make sure that parents are aware of those updates. Okay, so you can hand people a printed out version of the policies. You can send them a PDF. You can do all the things where you're having people like sign forms and stuff like that. But let's be honest, a lot of people won't read them. So especially if they're long format. So what I like to do is I will give my policies to ChatGPT. And I will give it specific instructions to say, here are the new, I'm going to give you a copy of the policies for my studio business. The sections blank, blank, and blank are new to the policies. I would like you to help me create a summary email that is pointing out the new policies this year. It should include bullet points, etc. And then I will have ChatGPT write it for me. It saves so much time. So that's one of the ways that I like to create summaries, etc. The other, well, let's talk about checklists. So I will do some screen sharing about ChatGPT and stuff like that to give you some ideas around how specifically I use it. But let me first bring up my favorite new tool, and it is called, you guys are going to laugh at this, it is called Goblin.Tools. It's a little weird, but let me show you. So I created, let's do a screen share here. All right. This is an example of a spring recital checklist that I created. It took me only 5 minutes. And I used a tool to create this. Then I took what I did in that tool and put it into a Google Doc. So it's something that I can check off, etc. So in this checklist, I was able to break everything down and give myself an SOP that would guide me through from beginning to end of planning a recital. And I was able to give this checklist a number of dates, etc. So let me show you how I did this. It's so easy. So the tool that I used, it's Goblin.Tools. And again, if you want to get a hold of the links from today, just put the word AI down below. It's called Goblin.Tools. This was actually given to me by my therapist. And this tool is lovely for not only making things in your business, but in your personal life. So if you are ever feeling like, dang, I just don't have enough spoons to deal with this task today, this is something that I love. So what I did is I gave it a prompt and it said, I would like you to plan for a piano and voice studio spring recital. That was all the instruction that I gave it. And then it gave me a list of all of these things. So let me move these things off to the side so I can kind of explain. I know if you're watching on a phone, it's going to be a little hard to see this because it's really tiny, so you can always come back and watch this on desktop later. But what I did is I took all of the items that it gave me, I deleted the ones that didn't make sense, and then I also was able to take these and drag them around and then put them in a specific order. It was kind of fun because I was even able to have it give me like a time estimate for these things and that I can edit these things. I can even break down an item. So if you don't have the spoons and you're like, I just need somebody to tell me what to do, please, you can hit this little magic wand and it is going to give me a suggested number of steps to go through. Okay, so look at how it broke down this step. The step was choose a date and time for the recital. So here are the possible steps that it's given me. Review the available dates and times. Consult with the studio team for their availability. Consider the schedule of students and families. Evaluate the availability of the recital venue. Determine any conflicts or overlapping events and reach a consensus. How freaking cool is that? Like, I'm just obsessed with this. I think it's really neat. Now, if you don't want a step to be there, you can just like remove it. And then what's nice about this tool, by the way, this tool is free. The other thing that I like is that I have to move these little guys out of the way. You guys can't see them, but I have all these windows on top. At the very bottom here, then you can copy this to your clipboard and take this over to whatever document you want to use. They also have an app version of this, so you can do this on your phone, and then they will actually have a checklist for you. And I think that app is a paid version, but it's something like 99 cents for lifetime, so it's pretty cool. Now, there's so many other things that you can do inside of this app. You just kind of want to play around with it. And what I love is this little thing here. When you're adding a new item, like, and you're having them break something down, you can choose, they call it how spicy it is. I have it on a spicy levelness of 2. That means that it's only going to break things down to a certain amount. Now, I can change that to be spicier, and it will break things down even further. I love this tool because oh wait, I can't find my way back to the screen. One of the reasons I love this tool is creating a checklist is not the best use of your time. Right? So if you can start, you can have something that like gives you the start of it, then you can go through and edit it and be that person who is like, okay, the office manager who's like, all right, this makes sense, this makes sense, this makes sense. That is a much more effective use of time than having to write it from scratch. And since we have these tools, I mean, why the heck not use them? All right, I'm going to bring some of these comments up here. I see Cassandra says, I've never asked Louie to do that. Oh, is that your ChatGPT? I love that. Never asked it to do for me. Excuse me. I'm going to mute myself for just a second, I think. Maybe not. Pardon me. I'm still recovering from a cold, so my voice is crap. Amy says, that is really neat. Great ideas. Elizabeth says, I can't wait to watch this on desktop. You've used ChatGPT to lesson plan. We're going to be talking about that in a second. I love it. Marie Lee says, I can't believe this is free. I know, it's one of my favorite tools. It's very, very fun. So, okay, let me come back to my outline here and see if I've covered everything. So when it comes to creating those summaries and checklists, I like to use it for summarizing policy changes. You can use it to create series of emails. I'm going to show you that. Goblin.Tools is my favorite for creating checklists. You can also do that on ChatGPT, but I like the way Goblin.Tools is set up for that. Now let me show you an example of, great. This, again, it's going to be hard to see if you're on mobile, but you can come back and watch it later. So here's a prompt that I did a while ago, and what I did in this is an example of how I use it to to draft emails. So I'll read the prompt so you can see what it says. It says, hello, I'm looking to design some emails for my music studio. I'm going to send you some information so that you can help me generate a series of emails to remind people about our upcoming recital. Are you ready to receive the info? And then it came back to me like saying, please provide me necessary information such as event details, key points you'd like to highlight, and specific goals or objectives. So I gave it that information. It says, write an intro email about a recital that is on May 11th. It will be at 2 p.m. at Westminster College. Write the email to the parents, reminding them that they need to be there by 1 p.m. and that there will be a reception afterwards. And then it started giving me this awesome email. Now, what was also interesting is that this email was hella long, and there's no way on earth that I would send an email this long to my studio because people ain't going to read that. So I came back and said, this email is way too long. Can you make it less than 200 words? And it came back and it summarized it. Then I was like, you know what? This just doesn't sound like me. Please rewrite in a fun and funky language. Include bullet points with the days and times. So you keep playing with this until you find something that you want. And now I can take that, I can edit it, and it has taken me half the amount of time to write that email. Now I could continue with this prompt and do things like having it write a series of emails. So an email that will be sent out 2 months prior with XYZ information, and one that will be sent out 2 weeks prior, so months, weeks, etc. And then have it write all of those emails, and then you're done. Oh, Jennifer, your prompts are so polite. You know what's funny? So the example that I just showed you was from way back when I was first using AI. I'm not as polite to my AI anymore. Although I try to be somewhat polite because I have this feeling, and I know it's not real, but if I'm polite to my AI, when the AI takes over the world, they'll be like, Sara Campbell's pretty cool. We'll keep her around. I don't know. That's just how I feel. Karen asks the questions, how do you get these tools? Do you have to sign up, get an app? I do everything on my iPad. The tool that I just showed you, Goblin.Tools, the list maker, is free. And you just go, if you drop the information down below. I'm sending out links to these. ChatGPT is also free. You can, I'm not sure about an iPad because I typically don't use that for work. I use it to watch Netflix and to read music. But there should be app versions of those on there. I'm glad that you all are amused by my attempts to make sure that the AI will keep me around. Thanks. All right, let's move on to item number 2. If you have any things that you would like, any tools that you would like to mention in this broadcast that you like, be sure to drop them down below. The second thing that I love to do is to use AI to create lesson plan ideas. This can be particularly helpful for those of you who are multi-teacher studio owners. So if you, and especially if you have employees and you want to create SOPs around lesson plans and to train your teachers to have lesson plans that are somewhat consistent, so that you can, have an eyeball on what's happening with what is being taught in the classroom. So one of my friends, Kristen Coffey Rondo, who owns $1 Music, has been using, this tool as a way to start coming up with lesson plan documents for some of her new teachers. And it was really cool. I had a conversation with her about that. I'm going to show you some of my tips when it comes to using it for lesson planning. And I started a new chat this morning, and I'm going to demonstrate that for you. But the tip in general is this. If you want to get the answers that are the best, you need to be as specific as possible. And one of the ways that you can be very specific is to, when you create a prompt, make sure that you have instructions in there that says, do not write the response yet. Before you write the response, please let me know if you have any additional questions or need any more information. So let me demonstrate what that means. Let me find yes, here we go. So I will read part of this to you. I know this is not the most exciting thing, but hopefully it will be really useful to you, and you'll be able to, look at this later on. Oh, that doesn't make it even. That makes it harder to read. Okay, so I'm going to read this out loud so you can see what I did here. The prompt started with, I'd like you to assist in creating a series of lesson plans for my young singers. Let me see if I can enlarge this a little bit. Does that make it a little easier for you guys to see? Oh, shoot. Okay, hopefully you can see that it's a little bit larger. So I want you to create a series of lesson plans for my young singers. Here's some information about the singers, their goals, and the lessons the lessons they attend. Before you start creating, please let me know if you need any further information. So I then provided a lot of information, the ages of the students, why they were enrolled in lessons, what type of singers there might be, how long the lessons are, what number of activities I'm looking for, and then some of the activities that I would typically use. And then I asked the question, this is the important question, this is the best one to remember, is this enough information to proceed? At this point, it came back to me and it said, before proceeding, I have a few questions to ensure that they are tailored effectively. So they wanted more information on musical preferences, performance goals, skill assessment, resources and materials, whether it's a group or an individual lesson, and what level of parental involvement is there. So in order then to proceed, I would give it all of that information. And when I've done this in the past, what's super cool is that the answers that it will typically bring back will have a breakdown of everything that you would cover in a lesson. It will show you how long each activity is going to take, what to do in that activity, etc. And you can break it down even further by asking additional questions. So if it has an activity there that maybe you don't understand, you can ask it to clarify. And so it's pretty cool. Yeah, Jennifer, it's interesting, isn't it? It's rather fun to kind of play around with. And you can get as specific as possible with this, even to say that maybe you tell them exactly what type of resources you're using and the length of the exercises in those resources, the names of the exercises, so that it would break it down for you. If anybody has questions about the lesson plans, please let me know. Let me see if there was anything else that I wanted to cover with that. I think I'm good. I'm going to answer a question that Laura had here. Okay, so Laura says, I've had trouble copying and pasting from AI into my email. Any suggestions? I'd rather not retype. So if you're using something like ChatGPT, they do have a specific button that you can use to copy things. And I'll do a quick screen share for that, maybe, if I can find it. All right. Oh, shoot, I'm in the way. Can I move myself? Yes. All right, so, woo. So if I wanted to copy what it gave me, so like here's the information that it just gave me that I read about the additional questions, you're just going to click this little copy right here, and then you should be able to jump into whatever document. I'm going to put it in here even though it makes no sense. And then there's the information. So hopefully, Laura, that helps you. I know sometimes what people had what you might have been doing in the past was trying to like highlight the things and then copy it, and that doesn't always work. All right. So here's one final way that I love to use AI, and this I think will excite some people here. I love to use it for social media brainstorming. I think that it can be very useful for writing descriptions when you have ideas for content. It can also be lovely for batch creating content ideas, and I'm going to show you an example of that. It can be very useful for doing research as well. So if you, especially with the new version of ChatGPT, which will actually do research on websites for you. By the way, I'm not 100% sure if that option is available in the free version. I am using the paid version. They keep updating things, so it's hard to stay like 100% on top. But with the new paid version, it has a lot of other options inside of it. So maybe I'll do a training on that sometime. All right, so back to these ideas for the brainstorming in social media. I love to use it for hashtag research. It's fabulous to figure out what hashtags are most popular. It's great to do research on hashtags that might be specific to your local area, which is something that I highly suggest. We talk about that in the social media course. That location hashtags are really important if you're on Instagram. It can also be used for all kinds of things. And, outside of social media, like doing research on SEO and keywords and meta descriptions and things like that. I mean, the possibilities are endless, but I just wanted to highlight a few of them today. So here is an example of, something that I had ChatGPT create when I was brainstorming ideas for social media. And this is part of a training that I ran last year. So one of the things that I did, this is a much longer post, but I'm just going to show you the results of this. If anybody is super duper interested in learning more about how specifically I suggest to use AI, we are probably going to run another AI workshop later on this spring. We did one last year. So if you're interested in an AI workshop, you'll want to be on our email list. We will send out information about those workshops as they come about. So what's really cool here is that did you guys know that ChatGPT can make tables? This is really great. So one of the things that I did here is I asked it to come up with ideas for inspirational quotes. I wanted them to be attributed to specific authors. Side note here, a tip when you are asking for stuff like this is to make sure that you check the work. Make sure that those quotes are actually real. AI is not infallible. So we have to double check these things. So I asked it to create a content plan with the quote, a possible description to be used in the post, and then possible hashtags, because part of this prompt is that I told it, I would like you to assume that I have created graphics containing these specific quotes. I would like you to help me write descriptions for these posts. Now, would I use these descriptions verbatim? Probably not. What I would do is use this as a rough draft and then use this as a way to kind of speed up the process of creating those materials. So it's pretty cool what it's done here. It's broken things down with those 3 things that I mentioned. And in here, you'll see that that actually has a number of different types of content. I had it create quotes, I had it create facts, etc. And that was pretty fun. Yeah, it was so organized. It was pretty fun to do. So there's just so many ways to use it. You know, and I encourage you to get to creative. Have a little fun with it, right? And again, like if it gives you information that is total crap, just tell it. Just tell it, like, this is not what I was looking for. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to try again, refine your prompt, and go. This is great. Let's bring up a couple of comments, and then we're going to wrap this up. Marie Lee says, I can't wait to try this out, but I can tell it's going to take some practice to get my prompts correct. Yes. This is why, one of the things that I've been working on in this past year as I've really been experimenting with AI is refining prompts and really testing them out until I get answers, like the answers that I need more quickly so that I don't have to go through and constantly refine. It's something that I've been playing around with a lot. Jennifer says I usually use short prompts and then fiddle with it to get it to sound like my voice. With longer prompts, does it use your writing style in the response? Jennifer, that is something that, yes, you can do. So when you're writing that initial prompt, you can give it a series of instructions. Something that I like about having the paid version, I don't get any affiliate fees from this. So I'm just saying that I'm just telling you why I like the paid version. The paid version of it actually allows you to put information in about your business so that every time you start a prompt, you have the option to click a button that allows that prompt to be customized. So it will already know about your business. It will already know what type, like the tone that you want it to use, etc., so that you don't have to do that again and again. It will not make sense for everyone to pay for a service like that. One of the things that you can do is have a document that has all that information in there so that when you're interacting with AI, you can just go and copy and paste that. Aaliyah says, I'm loving this. I'm excited to learn the rest later. I've used ChatGPT, but I have never found it super useful because I haven't figured out how to use it well. Exactly. When I first used it, it was pretty funny. Okay. Yay. Alexis says, this is so wild, exciting to use this. Alexis, I'm excited to see you on Friday at that final class for Branding Bootcamp where we're going to be talking about ChatGPT as well. All right. So I think I've gone through all the points. We're going to do a rapid recap. Oh, Cassandra, this is so cool. The free version now allows you to create custom instructions too. Awesome. I am so glad that you told me that. Yay. That makes me really happy because I felt like that was a little bit too gatekeepery. And I'm really glad to hear that that is available in the free version as well. Okay. But not as in depth as the paid version. Good to know. All right. If you have any questions, now is the time to put them in the chat and I will circle back and be happy to answer those. We're going to do our little rapid recap. Do me a favor, if you are here and you have enjoyed this broadcast, if you would like to show a little thanks to us here at Savvy Music Studio for all the work that goes in behind these broadcasts, if you could take just one moment and like or love this broadcast, and if you enjoyed it enough that you think that you would like to share it with somebody, that would be the most amazing thing in the world. So please do let other people know that this free resource is available to them. And if you would like to get more information about the resources that we did here today, remember that you can, if you're on Facebook or YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, drop the word AI down below, and we will send you the links to the resources that we've been going through today. And if you are on YouTube, please look in the description of this video and you will find all the information that you need. You'll find a link that you can click. All right. Here we go. Time for our rapid recap. And I feel like my camera keeps sliding down. So let's give this a try. Oh, let me get myself ready here. Here we go. I'm all about saving time and streamlining tasks. And one of my favorite ways to do that is to use AI. Now, I'm going to share 3 of my favorite ways to save time with AI. Here we go. One of my favorite ways to save time with AI is to use different tools to create summaries and checklists, because you don't need to be using your brain power to make lists. Export that, give it to somebody else. I love the two tools that I love for this are ChatGPT and Goblin.Tools. That's the website that I use. You can use these tools to create checklists, SOPs, summaries, etc. Maybe one of my favorite ways to do this is to take your policies and to summarize any changes and create emails that you can send to parents. My other favorite way to use this tool is to create checklists for things like spring recitals. And they are just that you can make them as detailed as you want or as simple as you want. But again, this is a better use of your time to kind of outsource that so that you can then act as the editor and refiner. And you're going to take the time that it would take to create that document, it's going to cut it in half. The second way that I love to use AI in my business is that I really do love to use it to create lesson plans. This can be extremely useful for multi-teacher studios, especially if you have employees and you want to make sure that there is consistency among your teachers and how they are instructing your students. It's also great for single teachers as well. If you are just wanting to get a little creative and to come up with some new ways to assign tasks and to different types of activities. My tip for you is if you are going to use things like ChatGPT to lesson plan, you want to be as specific as possible. And the key that I use in my prompt in order to make it super successful is to, after I give the my little robot the instructions about, I would like you to create lesson plans. Here are details about the students and the types of lessons that they are taking. Please, this is the tip. You got to use this part. Let me know if you need any additional information to create this lesson plan. That is going to be the best prompt that you can use because it's going to help you refine the data and you're more likely to end up with a result that you're going to be really happy with. All right. Here's another way that you can use AI to save time in your business. I think it's one of the most fun things to use ChatGPT as a brainstorming place for social media content. So it's lovely for gathering ideas like inspirational quotes that you can use. It's lovely to create lists of fun facts that might, really tie in with the type of studio that you have. And it's a great place to come up with rough drafts for descriptions of posts and to research the hashtags that might be the best ones to use. My tip with this is make sure that you're always checking the data because we want to make sure that the quote that it's giving you is a real quote that's actually attributed to a real human being. So have fun with it. It's a great way to save time. All right, that is it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you'd like to hear the full version of this broadcast, just let us know down below and we'll send it to you later. And if you would like to get a hold of the tools that we talked about, drop the word AI down below or look for the description in the link, the link in the description of this video. Thanks for being here, everyone, and we'll be back the next Wednesday. In the meantime, stay savvy and stay you because you are an amazing music teacher and there's no one in the world quite like you. And I think you are pretty dang awesome. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.